Hey everybody, it's Zira, Love of the Dark, just about everywhere, ZZZIRAAA on Instagram. You'll notice it's a little bit of a different view this week. You're not going to see my face. I pulled a muscle in my subscapula and I cannot lift my arms over my head. It hurts so bad, and knitting even is probably not the best thing for me to be doing right now. But for my mental health, it must be done. So that's what I'm doing. I'm sitting here finishing up. What did I do there? Finishing up on these socks, okay? But they're not really socks, because I'll tell you what happened. Maybe we talked about this a little bit last week. I don't know. I don't think so. So I got these amazing mini skeins from the Yarn Enabler. And I decided to make a pair of crazy socks with them. And it was intended to be cuff down. But what I realized is when I got to about here was that this portion no longer fit my leg. It fits the smaller, like the lower half of my calf just fine. It's a 64-inch on a 2.25 millimeter needle. But the sock, if I want to use all of the mini skeins, the sock is going to end up being like knee high. And I didn't take that into consideration because I'm kind of a goofball and it was kind of a spur of the moment, like on a whim kind of a plan. So what I decided to do, because I didn't want to rip all of that back and start over, I decided I'm going to just make these leg warmers, and this will end up being the bottom portion of the leg warmer. So about here, I started doing some increase. Oh no, I'm sorry, about here. I started doing some increases, and now I believe I'm up to, let's see, I think I'm up to 80 stitches, and that should be enough to get over my calf. And I'm at the very, very, very last. This is all I've got left is this one last little mini skein. So I'm super excited about that. So I'm just going to sit here and knit for a little while I chat with you about life and things and stuff. No new real acquisitions to speak of. I kind of put myself on a sort of self-imposed yarn diet. I spent a lot of the tax money that I got back. Well, not a lot, but some of the tax money that I got back on yarn. But now I will be stocked up in yarn. I don't have to buy anything for a long time because I've got plenty of stuff to make all of the projects that I want to make in the near future. So that's awesome. I also got a bunch of fabric, which I'm making. I'm starting some really cool project bags. I have some cool ideas for kind of a new style of project bag that I want to work out. And that's fun. I just got a bunch of, oh, I should have brought them in here. Oh, shoot. I got a bunch of fabric from fabric.com, which is the coolest place to buy fabric online, I swear. I ordered enough to get free shipping, so that should tell you that I got quite a bit. But it's all the Alexander Henry, the Gasleys series. And oh my god, they're so cute. They're these creepy little kittens and gothy spider webs and just all kinds of goodness. So I'm sorry that I'm not showing you those right now. Maybe I'll add on to the end of the video. I probably won't though. I rarely do. Anyway, I'm kind of tired. I'm waiting on a friend to bring me a couple of muscle relaxers for this stinking arm thing. I can keep my arms down here, but as soon as I try and lift them up, it sends this horrible stabbing pain through my back. And if I'm not really careful, it catches and I get stuck in that position of horrible agony and I can't move. So it really sucks, you guys. Try not to pull muscles in your scapula because that is just stupid crap. And you know, I could go to the ER or the urgent care, but they're not going to be able to do anything about it. They'll prescribe me a muscle relaxer and say, good luck with that. Have a massage. Well, I have a massage therapist for a partner that specializes in putting people back together after car wrecks. So I got that part covered, but in the meantime, I can't get this damn thing to unspasm so that it can be worked on. So I got a friend of mine bringing me a muscle relaxer. That'll be nice. I'll be able to get a little bit of rest. I did not sleep last night because I attempted to toss and turn. It was really difficult to toss and turn when you're stuck in a painful position, but I did my best. So anyway, I got up this morning and I was like, you know, I'm going to sit here. I'm going to sit up and prop myself up so that I don't have to think about it too much. And I'm going to watch some podcasts on YouTube. So I watched the new Inside Number 23 with Katie, and I absolutely love her podcast, you guys. It's so great. If you haven't seen it yet, go check it out. She's really fantastic. She's super quirky, and she's got this amazing style. And through the month of May, she's like wearing all handmade clothing, and she's just a kick. So go check her out. She's super friendly and lovely. Not that she needs my recommendation. I mean, she's already a super, super popular person, but I'm just saying, like, she's awesome. Go watch her. But not after. Finish watching me first. Do me a favor. Help me with my numbers, people. I want better numbers. Let's see. So knitting. Feel free to make a comment if you notice that I knit in a funny way, or if I knit is, just exactly like you do, or if you've got a better idea for the whole knit purl bullshit that I'm doing right now. That's what it is. I'm not going to bleep that or anything. I hate knit purl, but it serves a purpose. And then I get cat hair. Yay! So anyway, after I watched the Inside Number 23 podcast, I hopped over to Christy Glass's podcast. I also really, really dig that girl. She is such a kook. She's kooky and goofy, and she's not afraid to be a complete dork on camera. And she's so just stylish and adorable, and I love her little family. She posts a lot of videos with her kids, and it's just so sweet. She's such a darling person. And she interviews some of the coolest people, and I swear, I'm so sorry I did not write this down, but the gal that she interviewed today, they were talking about wellness, and I believe it was a book review interview rather than a knit interview so much, but it kind of was a knit interview because it was kind of about knitting for wellness. And I knit through the entire episode and listened to it and like cried a little bit in part of it because it hit so close to home. And so I guess maybe we'll talk about that a little bit. I have, pardon my bumping of the camera. Geez, I hope I don't do that again. I have severe, severe anxiety. I don't know where it came from. It didn't start until I was like 26 or 27 years old. I was never before an anxious person, ever. And all of a sudden, I just remember one day I was sitting down at the computer, talking to my friends online or whatever. And my daughter, she was like 6 at the time, 6 or 7 at the time, was playing outside, and all of a sudden, I got really dizzy. And I thought to myself, oh man, I've been just sitting here too long. I need to stand up and let some blood flow get to my legs. So I didn't think anything of it. I stood up and I shook my legs out and I went to get a drink of water. And on my way to the kitchen, my lips turned numb, my hands went numb, and my heart started to race. Probably because I was thinking to myself, oh my God, my lips and my hands are numb. Why are they numb? I got really sweaty. I got really hot. I kind of freaked out, and I thought I was having a heart attack. And I called 911 because I didn't know what else to do. I thought, oh my God, I'm going to die. I'm 26 or 27, I don't remember the time, years old, and I'm going to die of a heart attack right now. This is so scary. And I ran outside. I called 911. I said, I have to go get my daughter, but I'll be right here. Please come get me. I ran out and I got my daughter. I said, honey, go to the neighbor's house. She had some friends. We had friends that lived next door. I said, let them know that I'm going to the hospital and I'll be back in a little while. I didn't think I was actually going to return. I thought I was going to go to the hospital and die. It was so scary. So I got to the hospital and the doctors ran all these tests and they tested me for drugs, which I was not a drug user, so there was nothing there to see. And they told me, look, your heart is fine. There's nothing wrong. And I'm like, but I can feel it beating out of my chest right now. And they take my pulse. Your pulse is just fine. It's maybe a little elevated, but that's because you're worked up. You're in a lather, and so they basically sent me home. They said, there's nothing we can do for you. You're just having an anxiety attack. Anxiety attack? I'm like, well, isn't that what happens? Like before you take a test, you get kind of nervous about it. I thought that was an anxiety attack. They're like, no, this is like a full-blown panic attack that you're having. Here is some Xanax. They gave me, I think, 30 Xanax. Not bars. They gave me the small little round pills. And they said, take these, every 4 hours as needed. And then talk to your doctor on Monday. This was on a Friday night. Well, by Monday morning, I had taken all of those Xanax because I had taken them every 4 hours around the clock. I thought that's what I was supposed to do. That was the instructions I was given. I thought I was following instructions. So I called and I started to freak out. And I called my doctor and I said, I need more of these things. They're keeping me from having that horrible thing happen. At the time, I didn't know anything about Xanax. I didn't know that it was addictive. I didn't know how scary it can be to come off of it after you're addicted to it. I didn't know any of that stuff. I was young and stupid. Well, I was young and uneducated. I had a 6-year-old. I wasn't stupid, but I was uneducated. So anyway, they said, how many have you taken since Friday? And I think it was 30. I said, well, I've been taking them every 4 hours. That's what they said to do. And the nurse practitioner said, oh, honey, that is too many. You're not getting any more of those. That stuff is so addictive, and just scared the crap out of me. And I was like, well, what am I going to do? Every time, if I don't take these, I can't sit down. Because every time I sit down, I feel like I'm going to have a heart attack. And there was nothing in my life that was stressing me out at the time. I was in a good relationship. I had a good job. My kid wasn't at the age where she was giving me any shit yet. There was nothing really in my life that was stressing me out. Yeah, so anyway, they ended up putting me on Zoloft, which took a couple of weeks to kick in. So I probably lost maybe 10 to 15 pounds in that 2 weeks because I literally couldn't sit down. I couldn't lay down. I didn't get any sleep until I would literally pass out from exhaustion. And then I would wake up 3 hours later having a panic attack with my heart racing and sweating and feeling like I was going to die. It was the most scary thing I've ever dealt with in my life, and I really can't imagine wishing that on like my worst enemy. And since having these things, I've learned that lots of people have these things. And up until that point, and it's been many, many years ago, by the way, I'm 41 at this point, I've learned that lots and lots of people have these things. They're very common. And I've learned kind of, oh, ouch, pardon me. Oh, I've learned how to kind of breathe through them and deal with them. And I take some supplements that help, like with adrenal support, so I don't get that horrible adrenaline rush that I used to get when I have one. I'm kind of more aware of what's happening. I understand that it's not actually a heart attack. It only feels that way. Anyway, long story short, I suffer from anxiety. And I don't take any medication for it at this point. I took the Zoloft for maybe a couple of years, and I decided I didn't want to do that anymore. That's kind of another long story. Maybe I'll get into that someday. But anyway, I don't take any meds. I just take some supplements, some herbal supplements and things like that. And I try to avoid sugar. For the most part, I have a little sugar in my coffee, but I try not to go. I used to have a really bad Dr. Pepper addiction as well. And I would not drink the diet stuff because it didn't taste the same. It wasn't good. But I would drink, a couple of those like 64 ounces every single day of Dr. Pepper. And I'm sure that was a major factor in contributing to my anxiety attacks. Only because now I know if I eat a candy bar, within about 20 minutes, I'm having a panic attack. And I have to talk myself down through it and say, look, it's just because you had that stupid candy bar. Was it really worth it? Probably not. So I don't do a lot of the really refined sweets anymore. I can do a nibble, but not a whole bite. So anyway, basically back to the story. So Christy's interviewee was a person who wrote a book about wellness and knitting, and I'd like to read that book now. I've never read it, but just judging from the interview, it sounds amazing. And I can attest, I don't know if any of you that are watching have ever had a panic attack, but I will tell you that during the times that I am knitting, so far, knitting and drawing are the two things that I've never had a panic attack in the middle of. And I don't know why that is, but I don't really question it a whole lot. I just accept that that's, if I can tell that I'm headed for kind of a bad place, and sometimes I can tell this is not going to be a good day when I wake up. If I take my knitting with me wherever I'm going, pull that out, work on it for a little while, it calms me right down. And that's as far up as that goes. Okay. I think it helps me to slow my breathing down. I notice when I have anxiety, I have a tendency to hyperventilate, which can attribute to the numb lips and numb fingers, and the face turning a funny color, blanching, and kind of getting white around the lips. If you don't breathe enough, you're not getting enough oxygen, your brain starts to freak its shit. And I notice that when I am knitting, it's almost like a form of active meditation. It just settles me right down. So that's pretty awesome. I've been able to not take my meds and just knit a lot. And I am not in any way recommending that you go off your meds and learn to knit. I am recommending that you learn to knit if you don't already know how. Because it can help in addition to your meds. I am not one of those anti-meds people at all. I think we definitely overprescribe, especially with things like antibiotics, and even antidepressants. I think there's a lot of things we can do for ourselves. We can get away from the sort of sedentary lifestyles and, you know, get out into some nature, get your feet in the dirt. That's another thing that's very, very helpful, is being out in the garden. I'm so sorry about the constant shifting of the camera, you guys. I don't have that thing set up very well. I have it actually, this is kind of funny, and I should take a picture and insert it, but I have my webcam hanging on a string above me because I don't have a double camera set up like some of y'all people do. So that's my ghetto ass setup right there. All right. Anyway, getting out into nature, putting my bare feet in the dirt. I believe they call it grounding. And I believe that it works. 100% it works. That was the one thing, even before, when I first started having panic attacks, before I really even understood what that was one of the things that would keep me from losing my shit, was going out with my bare feet, putting my bare feet in the grass. And I didn't know why. I just knew that, oh my gosh, I figured that if I do this thing, I calm down. And so I walked around a lot in my neighborhood. I walked around in a lot of different people's yards and up hills, and I went to parks and walked through parks barefoot at all hours of the morning. I'm sure that my entire neighborhood thought I was becoming a little meth addict with my just tweaky behavior. It was absolutely not me. It was a good way to lose a little weight, though, getting out and walking around a lot. I'll tell you that much. But knitting is also really great for that. So I feel like I've rambled a lot. Perhaps, I don't know, perhaps you're bored. But, you know, that's okay. I just wanted to get a little bit of a podcasty thing out. It's not really a full podcast today. I'm tired because I didn't get, if I sound tired and worn out and hoarse, it's because I cried a lot yesterday because I was in so much pain, and I did not get any sleep last night. So I'm still the same old friendly me. I'm just exhausted, and I wanted to get on here and talk about the whole anxiety thing, because those girls in that interview, the girl in the interview, she's onto something. She's absolutely onto something, and I wish they would do some more studying. Oh, wait a minute. What did I do? Did I just... Ha! You guys get to see me make a mistake and tink back. Tink. Anyway, she's totally onto something. What did I... Look at that. I got off somewhere way back here, didn't I? Oh, okay. I want to tink back. This is going to be fun. This is tinking, when you have to just pull back a little bit, but not a whole lot. So you just, oops, just go in there and one at a time it. It's kind of challenging with double-pointed needles. Oh my gosh, shaky, shaky. Yes, earthquake. Oh, I need to figure out how far back. Knit, right there. Okay, so it's just a few. I do that when I talk and knit. That's, jeez Louise, come on now. That's part of why I like my knitting, because I kind of like being left alone while I'm doing it. And maybe that's just my time for me to be alone by myself. I don't really require that much alone time, not nearly as much as some people I know. But maybe I need more than I think I do. I just don't think I do. I don't know. This is my way of putting up a a wall without saying, "Get the hell out of my space," because everybody knows, oh, she's probably counting. I shouldn't talk to her right now. 2 more. Okay. Oh, jeez. That's the other thing. The whole purl, knit thing here is, it's a little tricky to tink back. I know how to do it. I'm just not, I can't get my arm up that high to like show you what I'm doing. So, okay. All of those knits I've accidentally twisted now, so I'll just turn them around as I'm going by knitting through the back loops. There we go. Okay, now we're back on track. So yeah, anyway, I have anxiety. Probably you do too. Probably we all do. There's a lot of shit going on in our world right now, guys. There's a lot of really crappy choices being made by our leaders, and that bullshit trickles down to the rest of us, unfortunately. And I don't care who you support, I really don't, but if you can't give me a really valid reason for supporting who you support, you might want to think about who you're supporting and why. If your answer is because, it's probably not the right answer. Also, if you haven't seen him already, you should probably go check out the YouTube channel of The Liberal Redneck. That guy is so right on. He's so right on. And he redeems the entire South as far as I'm concerned. I should probably take that portion out. That was really rude of me to say that. But anyway, The Liberal Redneck is pretty awesome. I'm going to take out that entire part. So anyway, let's see here. I got to write something down really fast. Okay. Let's see, it's noon. I'm hungry, you guys. I'm going to go for a while and go get something to eat. It's been real. I doubt I'll do anything with this video. Anyway, that was me for the day. Bye. Oh, the magic of editing. You guys, I just went on a ridiculous rant that didn't have anything to do with knitting. So anyway, back to what we're doing here. I'm just about finished with this. You can kind of see how long each section is in this. Well, I just probably, you know, that's not going to make any sense because I just edited a whole bunch of stuff out and now I just go right back to knitting. I edited stuff because I get really angry about politics. I get really, really angry about the state of shit in our world. And I get really angry about the fact that people are so damn greedy that they can't see past their own bank account to see that they're poisoning our frickin' earth and killing us all. So anyway, that kind of stuff gets me really, really angry. And I tend to go on these little rants. And I didn't want to do that today. I kind of did. And I kind of got a little bit offensive. And I felt justified in it, but then I thought, no, I need to not do that. That's not where I want to go with this today. So anyway, back to the knitting. We're done talking about my anxiety. I feel fine today, except for my scapula. Hurts so bad. You can see how, sort of how long each of these, they were 40 yards cut in half, so 20 yards each. That's kind of how much they are. And that's about, I'd say that's like 2.5 inches, you know, per color. So towards the end here, let's see, you can see the end of the very last color was right about here. So I've got another inch and a quarter or so before I bind off on this. It's going to be really, really great. I can't wait to try it on. I hope it fits. If it doesn't fit, you know, I know other people that it will fit. But honestly, I like this so much. I like how this has turned out so much that if it doesn't fit, I'm just probably going to end up ripping it back and starting over and making a proper sock out of it. This is the other skein for the other leg warmer / sock / whatever it decides to finally end up being. So yeah, there's that. I'll knit for a little bit longer here. I'm getting ready to go do a couple of things. Ugh. Not looking forward to going out in the world today, you guys. My shoulder hurts so bad. But thankfully, doing this particular motion, my elbow is down next to my body. It's when I'll do it with this arm because this arm doesn't hurt. But when I take this elbow and bring it up like such, oh, and I just touched my camera again. That's when it really hurts. So as long as I don't do that, I'm pretty okay. And where are we at? There we are. Anyway, you guys, I tinked back a little bit because I had made a mistake because I was talking while knitting. I can sort of talk while knitting. I can kind of rambly talk, but I can't really focus and talk. Like I could never give a lecture and knit. I could listen to a lecture and knit for sure. In fact, I've done that in college. I've done that. But anyway. Geez, you know what would be really nice, guys? It would be really awesome if I could just do this all the time. Wouldn't that be sweet? Just not have to go to work. Just use your work is to stay home and knit and make things and design things and dye yarn and spin fiber. That's the kind of job I would love. Look, another cat hair. Should I just knit it right in? Knit it right into the sock leg warmer thing? I probably shouldn't do that. So silly. So close. Look, this is all I have left. Oh! And I'm going to play yarn chicken all the way to the very end. See if I can have less than 3 inches left over of yarn. That'd be so cool. Maybe I'll pause the video and get down to the end. No, maybe I'll just keep on talking. What else do you want to talk about? We've talked about anxiety. We talked about politics, and then I cut it out because it got ugly. We could talk about cooking. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Okay. We're going to talk about cooking. So my sweetie came home from work and mentioned that there was this thing you could do with artichokes. See, we both love artichokes, but the process of getting to the good part of the artichoke is rather tedious, and I'm not personally a huge fan of the damn artichoke leaves. I think it's way more work than it's worth. The heart is where it's at, but I don't like to waste all of those leaves, right? So Sweetheart came home and told me there's this thing you can do. It's the Jewish Roman way of making artichokes, and it's done in a deep fryer. And I'm like, wait, what? So basically what you do, we did a little bit of research, and then we went to my work because my work has artichokes for $1 a piece right now. So we bought 10 of them because they're little guys. They're only like the size of a small apple. They're really beautiful and tiny. They're so small you don't even have to take the choke out. So anyway, what you do is you take your artichoke and you start peeling the bottom leaves away. And you peel the leaves away until what you have are the leaves that are underneath that are that pale kind of creamy yellow color. Did I just screw that up? No, I didn't. They're the pale yellow color. So you pull all the dark green leaves off. What you're left with is, if your artichoke is like yay big, the last little tip is still the dark green tips. So at that point, you just cut those dark green tips off and you peel back the very bottom of the artichoke, like where the stem is. You peel that skin off of there. Once you get some of those, well, you put them also while you're cutting the rest of them, put them in acidulated water. If you don't know what that is, all that is when you take some water and you put a little bit of acid in it, like lemon juice or vinegar, to keep it'll keep things from oxidizing and browning. So anyhow, drain them off for a second, plop those into some hot oil. Now your oil needs to be hot, but not too hot. It needs to be somewhere between 280 and 300 degrees. You want to let those cook. The smallish ones, like what I've got, you want to let them cook for 10 minutes. If you've got great big, like big globe artichokes, you want to let those go for 15 minutes at 280 to 350 degree oil. I'm sorry, no. Listen, 280, that's where you want it. 280, 10 to 15 minutes, depending on the size of the choke. And then what you do is you take the chokes out of the oil and you let them drain on some paper towels for a few minutes. If they are large artichokes, wait till they're warm enough or cool enough to handle, and then get in there with a spoon or something and scrape the choke out of the center. Kind of open up the leaves a little bit. If they're the small ones, just leave them how they are. It'll be just fine. So then you reheat, you get your oil heated back up to 350. This is kind of like double frying French fries, like what you would do with home style French fries. So yeah, so you're going to cook them once at 280 degrees for 10 minutes. You're going to let them cool for a bit. You're going to put them back in 350 degree oil and let them go for about 2 minutes. And what you get, the little leaves open up and they turn crispy and brown. And what you have is layers upon layers of these delicious little leaves that you don't have to scrape with your teeth. You can just eat the whole thing. It's essentially artichoke flavored French fries. It's flippin' amazing. When you take them out of that hot oil, you immediately want to sprinkle them with salt and pepper, and then you want to just squeeze a lemon right over the top of them. And save some of that lemon for once you get all those leaves off, you're going to come down to that really tender, delicious heart. And at that point, you can either mash it up and sprinkle it with butter and lemon, or you can just eat it how it is. But I like putting butter and lemon on it. I think that's really, really good. You could do the mayonnaise thing at that point too if you wanted to, if you're a big mayonnaise person. I like mayonnaise on my sandwiches and like as a binder for tuna fish and deviled eggs. But not so much as a dip. I'm not a big mayonnaise dip fan. I do like sour cream. I think sour cream is delicious. You could take some sour cream and mix in some like smoked paprika and some lemon and some chives, and that'd be an amazing dip for these artichokes. Whatever you do with them, you got to salt them because artichokes need the salt. But they are seriously so delicious. We made these on Friday. And then yesterday was Sunday, my sweetie said, hey, let's go up and get some more artichokes while they're still on sale, and let's do that thing again. So we had artichoke hearts and chicken hearts for dinner. It was fantastic. My chicken hearts are the best chicken hearts I've ever had. You might be squeamish about guts. We're not squeamish about guts, especially not hearts, man. Hearts are just another muscle, and they're delicious when done right. So there's that. There's my little foodie tip of the day. 2 kinds of heart in one day. It was amazing. I'm not so close to being done. It's just not even funny, but my shoulder's starting to get sore again. Let's see, what else do you want to talk about? Oh, hey, there's this other thing that I do. You may not want to know about this thing. I raise rabbits. Not because they're cute, although they are very, very cute. And they are very well taken care of. They are for eating. Rabbits are food. So we have a beautiful mama out there right now that's, well, she's not due to have her babies, but she's pregnant. She's going to be having a set soon. We gave up rabbit, gosh, I don't want to say farming. We live in the city. It's not really a farm, but we gave up raising rabbits for a little while. We did not have a very good setup last summer, and it was just a whole lot more pain in the butt than it was worth. And now we have a much better setup, and we're ready to begin again. So we just got a pregnant doe and a different buck, so that when she has babies, we'll be able to breed a couple of those girls back to this buck. He'll be a different, non-related buck. Well, non-related. All rabbits are related, okay? They're rabbits, right? But I don't really concern myself with that a whole lot, only because my rabbits are not show rabbits. They are for meat. They're going to live 12 weeks, and then they're going to be on my plate. So I don't really care too much about, the genetic lines, as long as they're healthy. I don't mind eating bunnies that were born of incest so much, but anyway, we're still starting out with different related or non-related rabbits, so that's nice to start out that way at least. What else is new in my life? I wanted to get out and do some gardening this weekend. We have a beautiful spot for it in the backyard, but unfortunately, as you all know by now, this terrible shoulder issue has prevented me from doing that. Maybe next weekend. Let's see what else. What else is in my life? I don't know. But by now, you should know how to knit just by watching me do it, right? I know it's not that clear, and I'm not going I'm not going particularly fast today. But you're just pulling loops through loops. Pull a loop through a loop. how we make fabric. Well, it's how we make knit fabric anyway. I have a box that I'm working on because I am going to join the box of socks knit along, even though it's halfway through the year already. Just about. I'm pretty quick when it comes to knitting up little things like that, so I think I can catch right up. And the other thing that I'm working on is some little knitted bags. They're like maybe the size, they're big enough to hold like a deck of tarot cards or some runes or some change and a couple of cards or whatever you want to put in them. But they're kind of that size, like maybe 4 inches across and 6 inches tall. And they have little skulls on the front of them. And my sweetheart and I do the pirate events every year, at least one of them in the area. And so that'll be fun. Our ship got a merchant license, so we'll be able to sell our stuff. So I'm making a bunch of bags, drawstring bags, and little purses and little just random sort of pirate themed wares to sell from our ship. So that's going to be super exciting. If you don't know what a pirate festival is, oh my goodness, you are missing out. So at this pirate festival, people come together at this sort of fairgrounds style kind of venue, and they bring everything they need to build these gigantic pirate ships right on the land. But the pirate ship ends up being like your camping area. So they cordon off however many, like 100 feet by 20 feet or whatever you need for your camp. And then you build your pirate ship on that land. And there's vendors, and there's contests, and there's just drunken ridiculousness. It's so much fun. I can't even tell you. If you want to know more about that particular event, if you're in the area, you should go to seadognights.com. I bet it's seadognights.com. I don't think it's .anything else. But anyway, just Google it, Sea Dog Nights. You will not regret it. It is awesome. There's pictures. There's a schedule of events. There's the whole competition for Dog of the Sea and all this other stuff. It's super fun. It's kind of like a Renaissance fair for pirates. And they're not super stuck up like some of the SCA kind of groups can be, and not stuck up so much as they are just really they want to be really historically accurate. This isn't about that. This is about having fun, bringing the family out, dressing everybody up like pirates, and just having a good old time. Some of the people that come take it very, very seriously, and they stay in character the whole time, and their ships are authentic looking, and it's really, really cool to see some of the stuff. And other times, there's some cheap plastic pirate flags from China, like in some of the vendor booths. So it's a mix and match. Oh no, what did I do? Hold on. It's a mix and match as far as, authentic or not. But it's super fun regardless. It's a really fun weekend. By the time we're done with it, we're exhausted. And that that you have had a really good weekend when you're just like too pooped to party afterwards. So there's that. What in the world? There we go. See, that's what happens when I start talking seriously about any given thing. I lose track of where I'm at. That's why I need to just do garter stitch here. I shouldn't have stopped with I should have stopped like back here. I was just doing plain old knit, knit, knit all the way around. Well, you guys, I'm not going to finish this on camera. I'm getting tired. I'm going to put it down for a few minutes, and I will see you guys next week. I hope this will be finished. Maybe the other one will be finished too, and I'll show you more. I've done a little more work on my goldfish memory shawl. I'll show you that next week, and I'll show you hopefully some bags next week too. So we'll see you later. Bye!